I sit at my parents' dinner table, spine rigid against the high-backed chair, fingers smoothing the linen napkin in my lap. Mother insists on fresh linens for Sunday dinner, especially when we're celebrating. The crystal chandelier throws prisms across the polished mahogany table, catching in the facets of the wine glasses. The front door opens and Isabel sweeps in. My twin sister, my mirror image in DNA only, floats through the entryway in a crimson dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. "Sorry I'm late," she announces, not sounding sorry at all. "Traffic was dreadful." Father rises from his seat, his face transformed. The stern lines that greeted me 20 minutes ago melt into a beaming smile. "There's our girl," he exclaims, pulling her into a hug. "Let me look at you." Mother abandons her place, setting adjustments to fuss over Isabel, her hands fluttering to my sister's left hand, where a diamond the size of a small country catches the light. "The ring looks even more stunning tonight," Mother coos. "Dr. Matthews has exquisite taste." I tug at my cardigan sleeve, suddenly aware of the small coffee stain near the cuff. My jeans, while clean, are clearly the wrong choice. Again. "Madeline," Mother says, finally acknowledging my presence with a quick glance. "Would you help me bring in the appetizers?" In the kitchen, she hands me a tray of stuffed mushrooms while whispering, "Couldn't you have worn something nicer? It's your sister's celebration dinner." I carry the tray back without responding. What's the point? Father taps his glass once we're seated, raising it toward Isabel. "To our beautiful daughter," he says. "Proof that following our guidance leads to success. A surgical resident engaged to a brilliant cardiologist. We couldn't be prouder." Glasses clink. I sip water instead of the wine. The server Mother hired for the evening clears our plates after the main course. Father turns his attention to me, his expression shifting from pride to something harder. "Madeline," he says, using my full name as he always does. "When will you finally apply to business school like we discussed? The deadline for fall admission is approaching." I stare at the crumbs on the tablecloth. Before I can answer, Mother chimes in. "Did you hear Elizabeth Henderson's daughter just got engaged? To that wonderful attorney from Boston. She's your age, Madeline." Isabel reaches across the table to pat my hand. "Don't worry, Maddie. I can help with your application essays. I know how challenging writing can be for you." The chandelier light shifts, casting shadows across the table. The dining room feels smaller, tighter, like an interrogation chamber with wine and fine china. My mind flashes back to my childhood bedroom, walls covered with art awards hastily taken down whenever company came. Meanwhile, Isabel's math trophies stood proudly displayed in the living room cabinet. I remember the day Father called me into his study, his face grave as if delivering terminal news. "Your college fund will need to be redirected," he explained. "Art school is a hobby, not a career path. Isabel needs the extra money for her pre-med program." So many country club brunches where Mother would introduce us. "This is Isabel, our ambitious one. And this is Madeline. She's still finding her way." The pattern never changed. My voice, my dreams, systematically silenced. Actually, I hear myself say, the words forming before I've given them permission, "I've been sketching vehicle designs at Miller's garage downtown. They're considering using some of my ideas for custom builds." The table falls silent. Father's fork freezes halfway to his mouth. "No daughter of mine will waste her life in a garage," he says, each word a bullet. Mother's face drains of color. "What will I tell the country club ladies? They'll think you've lost your mind." Under the table, Isabel's thumbs move rapidly across her phone screen. A moment later, she sets it down with a small smile, eyes darting to me, then back to her plate. Texting her fiancé about how I'm embarrassing the family. Again. I feel strangely calm as I fold my napkin and place it beside my plate. "Excuse me for a moment," I say, standing. "Madeline, we're not finished discussing this," Father warns. But I'm already walking away, legs carrying me toward the hallway. I pause just outside the dining room, my hand braced against the wall. She's always been the disappointment. Father's voice carries clearly. Thank God we have Isabel. We need to find her a suitable husband before she ruins herself completely. Mother sighs. Isabel's voice, softer but just as cutting. Maybe she needs therapy? Something's clearly wrong with her. My hand trembles against the textured wallpaper. I stand perfectly still, letting their words wash over me like acid rain. Then, without a sound, I walk to the front door and leave. No goodbye, no dramatic exit, just the quiet click of the door closing on 25 years of trying to be someone I'm not. Rain pelts the window of my studio apartment as I sort through the cardboard box I retrieved from my childhood bedroom last week. My fingers brush against something rigid in envelope I don't immediately recognize. My breath catches when I pull it out. The cream-colored paper bears the logo of Westfield Art Institute, the school I dreamed of attending since junior year. Across the front, stamped in red block letters, rejected. My application, the one father promised to mail for me. I sink onto my secondhand sofa, memories flooding back. The night I finished my portfolio, Dad's hand on my shoulder. I'll take care of this, Madeline, trust me. His smile now looks different in my memory. The rejection isn't what burns, it's the betrayal. He never sent it at all. My hands shake as I pull out my laptop and log into my bank account. The savings I've been accumulating since high school, tips from waitressing, birthday money, small commissions for logo designs. The balance shows $237.41. It should be over $5,000. 3 clicks reveal the transaction history. 5 separate transfers to a joint account I don't recognize, made over the course of 2 months. Each one authorized by Richard Turner, joint account holder. My stomach twists into a knot. I reach again into the box and pull out the family photo album I took. Not out of sentimentality, but as proof I once existed in that house. I flip to the section labeled Elementary School Achievements and find the space where my first place ribbon from the state art competition should be. The photo has been altered, cropped, to remove the easel and canvas that once stood proudly beside me. Now it's just an awkward image of 10-year-old me standing alone, smiling at something no longer in the frame. Page after page tells the same story. Awards ceremonies with just Isabel. Group photos where I've been pushed to the edge, easily croppable. A systematic erasure. A small leather-bound book falls from between the album pages. Mother's diary. It must have been tucked into the album by mistake when I hastily packed. I shouldn't read it. But after what I've just discovered, privacy seems a luxury they didn't grant me. I open to a random page dated 3 years ago. We've done everything to steer Madeline to a respectable path. Richard believes another year at home under our guidance should correct her concerning tendencies toward these artistic pursuits. Isabel agrees her sister needs firmer direction. Concerning tendencies. Like I'm a disease they needed to cure. The walls of my apartment close in. Father, the mastermind, systematically undermining any attempt at independence. Mother, marshaling her social army against me. And Isabel, my own twin, reporting my worrying behavior to ensure I stayed trapped in their vision. My entire life feels like a construct built by someone else. Thunder crashes outside as I grab my keys and jacket. I need air. Need to drive. Need to be anywhere but surrounded by evidence of their manipulation. My ancient Honda protests in the downpour, coughing twice before dying completely. Of course, even my escape vehicle betrays me. I rest my forehead against the steering wheel, defeated, as rain drums a steady rhythm on the roof. Through the blur of my windshield, I notice the glow of the coffee shop across the street, Motorhead's Cafe. A strange name for a coffee place. A knock on my window startles me. A man in a faded denim jacket, rain plastering his dark hair to his forehead, motions for me to roll down the window. Car trouble? He asks, rain dripping from his nose. I crack the window an inch. Just died on me. Pop the hood, I can take a look. Against my better judgment, I do. Linnets, he's drenched, but grinning. Your alternator's shot. I can give you a ride if you need one. I don't even know you, I say. He wipes his hand on his jeans and offers it through the window crack. Brandon Miller. I own the garage behind the coffee shop. 20 minutes later, I'm sitting in Motorheads, which turns out to be half coffee shop, half vintage motorcycle showroom. Brandon hands me a steaming mug of coffee, no charge. His hands are calloused, fingernails lined with grease impossible to fully remove. My sketchbook sits open between us. I'd shoved it in my bag before leaving the apartment. These are incredible, he says, studying my engine modification sketches. His eyes, warm brown with flecks of gold, move carefully over each line, not dismissing, actually seeing. Just doodles, I murmur, embarrassed. These aren't doodles, this carburetor design that's innovative. Have you ever thought about designing professionally? I laugh, the sound bitter even to my own ears. My father thinks art is a hobby, not a career. Brandon's eyes meet mine, steady and clear. What do you want? The question hits me like a physical blow. No one has ever asked me that before. Not once. My phone vibrates. Father, his text terse. Final notice. Palmer internship starts Monday. Your desk is waiting. This discussion is over. Mother's message follows. Dinner with the Richardsons Thursday. Their son just made partner at his law firm. Wear the blue dress I bought you. Then Isabel. Wedding dress shopping Saturday. You're required. Bring the bridesmaid color swatches I selected. The walls begin to close in again, even here in this open space. The countdown clock of expectations ticking louder with each message. Brandon watches my face as I read the texts. He doesn't push or question, just waits. I don't know what I want anymore, I finally whisper. But I know it isn't this. He nods, then turns my sketchbook to a fresh page. Then maybe it's time to start figuring it out. For the first time in 25 years, someone is handing me a blank page instead of a script. I stand in front of the mirror, running my fingers along the collar of my blue blouse. Not designer like Isabel would wear, but clean and pressed. Brandon will be here in 20 minutes. My stomach twists into a pretzel. A year. We've been together a year, and tonight I'm bringing him to Sunday dinner. My phone buzzes with Mother's third reminder text. Don't be late like last time. Another text arrives from Isabel. Mom's making duck, your favorite. Duck isn't my favorite, it's hers. Brandon's motorcycle rumbles in the driveway right on time. He looks up at my apartment window and waves, his smile visible even from here. I grab my purse and head downstairs, the weight on my chest lightening with each step toward him. Ready for the firing squad? He asks, handing me a helmet. As ready as I'll ever be. I climb on behind him, wrapping my arms around his waist. His leather jacket smells like motor oil and pine. Real smells, not the manufactured scent of Father's cologne. The ride to my parents' house takes 12 minutes. Too short. Remember, I say as we walk to the door. They're going to judge everything: your clothes, your job, the way you hold your fork. Brandon adjusts his clean denim jacket. I've met difficult people before. Not like them. The front door opens before we reach it. Mother stands framed in the doorway, pearl earrings catching the evening light. Her eyes scan Brandon from boots to hair, her smile tightening. Madeline, you're on time. How surprising. She steps back, pulling the door wider. And this must be Brian. Brandon, I correct. Brandon Miller. Of course. Her voice is the one she uses for the cleaning lady. Your father is in the dining room. Brandon wipes his boots carefully on the mat and extends his hand to her. Thank you for having me, Mrs. Turner. She takes his hand with 2 fingers, as if touching something that might stain. The walk through the entryway feels longer than usual. Brandon's work boots sound heavy against the polished hardwood. Father sits at the head of the table, Isabel to his right. Her husband Charles stands by the window, swirling amber liquid in a crystal glass. Father doesn't rise. This is Brandon, I say, my voice steadier than I feel. Brandon, my father, Dr. Richard Turner, and my sister Isabel and her husband Charles. Brandon steps forward, hand extended. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Father looks at Brandon's hand. Calloused. Strong. A working man's hand. He takes it briefly. Brandon works at Miller's garage. I continue. He's developing electric conversion systems for classic vehicles. A mechanic? Father raises an eyebrow. How? Enterprising. There's growing demand, Brandon says, pulling out my chair. The waiting list for our custom EV conversions is 18 months now. And what university did you attend, Brandon? Father asks while Mother serves the wine. Community college for my certification, then specialized training through Tesla's technical program. Father's mouth twitches. No 4-year degree? Not everyone needs one to be successful, Richard. Mother interjects with false brightness. Some people are just happy with simpler aspirations. I feel Brandon's hand find mine under the table. So, Madeline, Isabel says, Mother tells me you're considering business school after all. Charles knows several admission board members at Harvard. I'm not applying to business school. The clink of silverware stops. Of course you are, Father says. We discussed this. You discussed it. I said no. Charles clears his throat. Perhaps we should discuss something else. The market has been quite volatile lately. Tell us more about your garage work, Brandon, Mother interrupts. Is it fulfilling fixing other people's cars? Brandon sets down his fork. I don't just fix cars, Mrs. Turner. I design and build custom systems that reduce carbon emissions while preserving classic aesthetics. My latest project was featured in Automotive Engineering Monthly, a trade magazine Father dismisses. A peer-reviewed journal, Brandon corrects politely. The dinner continues this way, pointed questions, dismissive comments, Isabel's concerned glances at Mother. Brandon answers each barb with dignity. I watch him handle my family with a grace they don't deserve. When the server brings dessert, Father sets down his napkin. Madeline, we need to discuss your future. This dalliance has gone on long enough. Dalliance? I repeat. Your mother and I have been patient. We've allowed you time to explore this. In rebellion. His gaze shifts to Brandon. But surely you understand that Madeline was raised for better than... Better than what? I ask, my voice surprisingly steady. Than throwing away her potential on garage trash. Brandon stiffens beside me. Richard, Mother hisses. Not at the table. When, Margaret? When should I tell our daughter she's making the biggest mistake of her life? Father turns to me. What will people say? The daughter of a distinguished professor, working in a coffee shop, dating a mechanic. I finish for him. Maddie. Isabel leans forward, her voice dripping with rehearsed concern. This isn't like you. You're smart. You could do anything. I am doing something, Isabel. Something I love, with someone who respects me. Respects you? Father scoffs. He's using you. What can he possibly offer? Happiness, I say simply. Mother dabs at sudden tears. We raised you for better than this, Madeline. Something snaps inside me. 26 years of bending, breaking, and conforming shattered in an instant. No, I stand, my chair scraping against hardwood. You raised me to be a copy of Isabel. You hid my awards, redirected my college fund, and criticized every choice I ever made. You never saw me. That's enough. Father's fist hits the table. Crystal glasses jump. I won't tolerate this disrespect in my house. Then I'll leave. I reach for Brandon's hand. If you walk out that door with him, Father says, voice dangerously quiet, don't bother coming back. Mother rises, walks to the key basket by the door, and slides my house key off the ring. Isabel's eyes fill with performative tears. Maddie, please, think about what you're doing. Brandon stands beside me, his voice low. Whatever you choose, I'm here. I look around the dining room one last time, the crystal chandelier, the family portraits where I'm always slightly out of focus, the polished silver that reflects distorted versions of reality. Goodbye, I say, my voice breaking but resolute. We walk out together. The door closes behind us with a definitive click. In the driveway, I take a deep breath of evening air. It tastes like freedom. The calendar on our kitchen wall marks 3 years since I walked out of my parents' dining room. 3 years of building something from nothing. The dates are covered with notes in 2 different handwritings, mine, looping and artistic. Brandon's, compact and precise. I drop my bag on the counter of our small apartment and kick off my shoes. The coffee shop smell clings to my clothes, but I don't mind it anymore. The manager asked me to oversee training the new hires next week. My voice matters there. "Maddie?" Brandon calls from the bedroom. "Come look." He sits cross-legged on our bed, surrounded by textbooks and highlighted notes. His certification exam is tomorrow, and he's been studying electric vehicle systems for months. The bed sags in the middle, and the sheets don't match, but it's ours. Nobody judges us here. "I did another practice test," he says, eyes bright. 92%. I wrap my arms around him from behind, pressing my face against his neck. "You're going to crush it tomorrow." The wall above our bed holds a collage of Dreams Me drawings of streamlined vehicles beside his technical diagrams, magazine cutouts of hybrid engines, and a photo of us at the Clean Energy Exposition last summer. In the corner, a stack of my communication textbooks from the community college night classes I've been taking. "Remember when we could barely pay the electric bill?" I say, looking around at the apartment that's slowly transformed from empty to full. Every book, every tool, every sketch on the wall represents a choice we made, not choices made for us. 6 months later, I stand in the auditorium watching Brandon cross the stage. His specialized EV system certification is rare enough that companies have already been calling. His mother sits beside me, squeezing my hand. She welcomed me with open arms when her son brought me home. No questions about family background or career prospects, just genuine curiosity about who I am. When they call his name, I cheer until my throat hurts. Later that night, he shows me the job offer letter from Green Circuit, a clean energy company 3 towns over. The salary is nearly double mate combined. "We could get a better place," he says cautiously. "Maybe that condo complex near the park." I think about the tiny balcony those units have, where I could set up an easel, sunshine instead of the shadow of the apartment building next door. "Let's do it," I say, and the look on his face is worth every struggle of the past 3 years. My own professional transformation comes more slowly. The manager at the coffee shop recommends me to her brother-in-law, who runs communications at a tech startup. "She manages customer complaints better than anyone I've seen," she tells him. "And you should see how she redesigned our menu boards." My new business cards read Communications Specialist. My desk has a window. For the first time, my artistic eye and business degree work together instead of fighting each other. We don't need my parents' validation to feel successful, but the absence of it still leaves a hollow space sometimes, like phantom pain from an amputated limb. My mother's calls come every few months, each ending the same way. "When will you come to your senses?" The Christmas card arrives with their annual family photo, father, mother, Isabel, and her surgeon husband standing in front of their perfectly decorated tree. The empty space where I should stand is conspicuous. Isabel texts occasionally, superficial messages that I know she reports back to her parents. "Just checking in. Hope you're doing well." I respond with equal blandness. Our twin connection feels severed, not by distance but by choice. The most brazen attempt comes when father's colleague happens to visit our city and offers me a position at his firm with the unspoken condition that I return to the family fold. I decline firmly, delete his contact information, and change my email address. Brandon and I are cooking dinner when my phone buzzes with a news alert. I nearly drop the wooden spoon I'm holding. "What is it?" Brandon asks, noticing my frozen posture. I turn the screen toward him. The headline reads, "University Investigating Professor Richard Turner for Misconduct with Graduate Student." My father's face stares back at me from the screen, his expression tight with the same controlled anger I grew up fearing. The article mentions an inappropriate relationship with a doctoral candidate and misappropriation of department funds. Your father? Brandon asks unnecessarily. He knows exactly who Richard Turner is. My phone buzzes again. Isabel. The text reads only, "Family emergency. Call immediately." Before I can process this, a voicemail notification appears. My mother's voice trembles as she speaks. "Madeline, we need family unity during this difficult time. Please call us back." I set the phone down and continue stirring the pasta sauce. The irony doesn't escape me. For 3 years, I wasn't family enough to acknowledge. Now that their carefully constructed image is crumbling, I'm suddenly needed. Brandon watches me carefully. "You okay?" "They only want me now because they need something," I say quietly. He nods. Family shows up before the crisis, not just during it. That night, I compose a brief email. "I wish you well, but cannot engage at this time." I press send and sleep better than I expected. The fallout happens quickly. Father suspended from the university, his reputation destroyed. The society pages report Isabel and her husband have relocated to Boston, distancing themselves from the scandal. Mother's friends at the country club evaporate overnight. The empire they built on appearances crumbles like a sandcastle at high tide. The same people who nodded approvingly at their dismissal of me now whisper about them at charity events. I watch it all from a distance, neither celebrating nor mourning, just observing the inevitable collapse of something built without integrity. Brandon finds me on our balcony, staring at the stars. "What are you thinking?" I consider the question carefully. That I might be the only family member they have left. His eyes meet mine, understanding the weight of what's coming. "What does that mean for you?" I have no answer yet. When those who judged you suddenly need your mercy, what does true integrity demand? I spot them before they see me, standing in the visitor parking lot of Horizon Technologies. My father's shoulders, once squared with academic authority, now hunch forward like a question mark. My mother clutches her persona, the Prada she showcased at country club brunches, but something brown and plain from a discount store. Their car, a dented Buick that replaced the gleaming Mercedes, sits awkwardly between the sleek vehicles of my coworkers. My stomach knots. 3 years of silence shattered by their unannounced arrival. "Madeline." Father's voice carries across the asphalt, lacking its former command. I straighten my spine, muscle memory from a lifetime of evaluations at their dinner table. "What are you doing here?" They approach cautiously, as if I might bolt. Perhaps I should. "You look well," Mother says, her gaze traveling over my simple blouse and tailored pants. She's thinner, lines etched around her mouth that makeup can't hide. Her pearl earrings remain the last vestige of former prosperity. "We need to talk," Father says. His rehearsed humility sits unnaturally on his face. "Somewhere private." "This is my workplace." I glance at my watch. I have 10 minutes before a meeting. His jaw tightens, then deliberately relaxes. "We've made mistakes, Madeline. Terrible mistakes." "We need your help," Mother whispers, tears welling in eyes that once surveyed me with disappointment. "Your sister won't take us in." The revelation strikes like cold water. "Isabel turned you away?" "She says Jonathan's family wouldn't approve of our situation." Mother's voice cracks. "We've lost everything. The university settlement took what the legal fees didn't. The house goes on auction next week." Father steps closer, close enough that I smell unfamiliar discount cologne. "We're still family, after all." The word family hangs between us like smoke, toxic, suffocating. For a heartbeat, old patterns surge through me. Fix this, make it better, earn their approval finally. "I have a spare room," my mouth starts to say. Then I catch at the flash in Father's eyes. Satisfaction. The hunter seeing prey move into position. "Maddie." Brandon's voice breaks the spell. He crosses the parking lot toward us, a brown paper bag in hand. Our usual Wednesday lunch. The sight of him solid, certain, carrying food we'll share at the small table in my office anchors me to the present. Everything okay? He asks, reaching my side. Mother's gaze slides over his Horizon Technologies polo shirt with undisguised surprise. Last she knew, he worked in a garage. Brandon, these are my parents, I say. They were just leaving. No, we weren't. Father's tone hardens, the mask of contrition slipping. This is family business. I look at him, really look at him, and suddenly see with perfect clarity. When I needed you, what did you do? He blinks, unprepared for direct confrontation. When I needed a family, what did you do? I repeat. We were trying to protect you from this kind of life, Father bursts out, gesturing at the modest office building behind me. Mother nods earnestly. If you'd listened, you wouldn't be working in this place. And there it is, the truth, beneath their desperation. Not remorse, not love, just the same old judgment wearing new clothes. This place, I say quietly, is where I design propulsion systems for electric vehicles. My name is on 3 patents. People respect me here. Brandon's hand finds the small of my back, a gentle presence, not a pressure. You disowned me, I continue, my voice steady as a heartbeat. You made your choice, and now I'm making mine. Father's face reddens. After everything we sacrificed, I need to get back to work. I turn toward the building, Brandon beside me. Security, Brandon says quietly to the guard stationed near the entrance. Please make sure they don't return. You can't do this, Father shouts, his authority finding its old edge. Madeline Grace Turner, we are your parents. I pause, not in hesitation but in acknowledgement. Yes, you are, and I wish you well, but this, I gesture to the space between us, is over. The security guard, a retired police officer named Jim, steps forward. Folks, I'll need to escort you to your vehicle. Mother's face crumbles. The country club ladies were right about you. Selfish. Always so selfish. I watch as they're guided toward their Buick. Father's shoulders rigid with impotent rage. Mother dabbing at tears with a tissue that isn't monogrammed linen. Their car pulls away, tires crunching over gravel. I expect to feel something: grief, guilt, triumph. Instead, a profound calm washes through me. You okay? Brandon asks, his voice low. Yes, I answer, surprising myself with the truth of it. I am. We walk through the glass doors of Horizon Technologies, leaving the past in the parking lot where it belongs. The weight I've carried since childhood, the constant striving for approval that would never come slips from my shoulders. I am Madeline Turner. I design propulsion systems. I make my own choices. And for the first time, walking away feels like walking toward something better. I kneel in the warm soil of our backyard garden, pressing seedlings into the earth while Ellie toddles across the quilt spread nearby. Her blocks clatter as she stacks them, her concentration absolute in that way only toddlers possess. At 18 months, she builds with the same focused intensity Brandon brings to his engines. Those tomatoes going in okay? Brandon's mother Lillian appears from the kitchen door, wiping her hands on a faded apron. Dinner's about 20 minutes out. Perfect timing. I pat the soil around the last seedling. These should thrive here. Drainage, morning sun. Lillian watches Ellie for a moment, her face softening. She's got your artist's hands. Look how she places those blocks just so. I follow her gaze, warmth blooming in my chest at this simple observation, the kind my own mother never made. Inside our modest bungalow, framed photographs line the hallway wall. Brandon receiving his certification, his arm around my waist, my first professional vehicle design implemented by his company. Our wedding day under an oak tree, surrounded by people who chose to be there. The kitchen smells of rosemary and garlic as Brandon sets the table, his movements unhurried. No fine china or crystal here, just sturdy stoneware plates in mismatched colors I deliberately collected. Each one has a story. Need any help? I ask Lillian, who shoos me away with a smile. Go clean up. You've been playing in dirt all afternoon. When we gather at the table, Brandon, Lillian, our friend Sarah, and me with Ellie in her high chair, the conversation flows easy as water. No interrogations, no hidden agendas. How's that electric conversion project coming? Sarah asks Brandon, passing him the bread. Almost there, he answers, eyes lighting up. Just waiting on those custom battery housings Maddie designed. The ones with the cooling system modification? Lillian asks. I nod, still surprised after 3 years when someone actually remembers my work details. Brandon raises his glass of lemonade. To building the family we choose, he says, his eyes meeting mine across the table. And to seeing each other clearly. Everyone drinks, and I fight the tightness in my throat. The contrast to that last dinner at my parents' house couldn't be sharper if outlined in neon. Later, after clearing dishes, I spot the envelope on my desk postmarked last week, my father's precise handwriting on the front, still unopened. The third letter in as many months. My therapist says I don't have to read them until I'm ready. Maybe never. Dr. Winters helped me understand the pattern show control disguised as love created the prison I escaped. How my worth never depended on their recognition. How boundaries aren't walls but vital protection. The doorbell rings as Lillian helps Ellie into her baptism dress. Our living room fills with friends arriving for the ceremony. Brandon's siblings with their families, coworkers who became confidants, neighbors who bring casseroles when someone's sick. My chosen family. The people who showed up when biology failed. Maddie? A young woman approaches shyly. Amanda, the intern from work, whose father threw her art school application in the fireplace. I just wanted to say thanks again for talking to me last week. I signed the apartment lease yesterday. I squeeze her hand. The first step is hardest. It gets better. My eyes drift to another envelope on the side table, this one opened. Inside, a small silver bracelet for Ellie and a note in Isabel's handwriting. I understand now. I'm sorry it took so long. When you're ready, I'm here. No rush to answer. No obligation to reconnect. The door neither locked nor wide open, just slightly ajar on my terms. As twilight falls, I sit on our porch swing, watching clouds blush pink above the maple trees. Brandon joins me, Ellie asleep between us, her weight warm against my side. Good day? He asks. The best kind, I answer. The swing creaks gently as I rock us with one foot. Sometimes the family you're born into doesn't see your worth, but the family you build shows you what love really means. Our modest home glows golden behind us, a sanctuary built on authenticity rather than appearances. Worth every step of the journey,